Let's get straight into our Thursday night panel. Joining me is Sky News host Caroline De Russo and Sky News contributor Evelyn Rae. Welcome, ladies. Now, you can both breathe a sigh of relief because now you have an ally in Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. I know you'll be excited about this. The governor of America's 51st state has proudly declared he is a feminist, and he's angry, as most feminists are. He's angry that the US chose not to elect a female president. Have a listen.
No, it shouldn't be that way. It wasn't supposed to be that way. We were supposed to be on a steady, if difficult sometimes, march towards progress. And yet, just a few weeks ago, the United States voted for a second time to not elect its first woman president. Everywhere, women's rights and women's progress is under attack, overtly and subtly. But I want you to know that I am, and always will be, a proud feminist. You will always have an ally in me and in my government.
Caroline, you must be thrilled to have an ally in Justin Trudeau.
What would I do? How would I ever manage, progress in life without that man doing my fighting for me? Thank God he is there. I just find that extraordinary. I just watched that and I actually kind of feel sorry for him because I actually think he might believe it, James. I actually think that he might believe that women all around the world need a paddler like him to do our work for us, which obviously isn't the truth. I mean, the funniest thing about all of this, James, is just this last week, he's had to schlep down to Mar-a-Lago to go take a knee for Donald Trump because that's what it wasn't meant to be like. This was actually never anything to do with women or women's rights. His side of politics was meant to win so that he wouldn't have to genuflect to anyone on the centre-right. So that's actually what he's really upset about.
Yeah, I wonder if he'd be more comfortable dealing with a woman than dealing with Donald Trump. Evelyn, Kamala didn't lose because she's a woman. She lost because she's a Marxist. But if Justin Trudeau is so concerned about getting more women into leadership, I mean, he could always step aside for a woman.
Yeah, look, that was honestly one of the most painful speeches. And as a woman, I would like to be very far away from him and not have him in my corner. Just throwing that out there. But I'd also like to point out the fact that the Liberal Party of Canada, Trudeau's own party, has actually never in its history elected a woman as its leader. But then again, after that speech, I wouldn't blame any woman for not wanting to be a part of Trudeau's party. You know, it was just woeful. But once again, these are the guys that like to imagine themselves as champions of democracy. But that is until the mere peasants, you know, do something that they don't like, oh my goodness, you know, vote in Trump in a democratic vote. But, you know, that's when they start, you know, getting nasty and basically saying that, you know, the peasants who voted for him must be stupid or misogynistic, they hate women, etc., etc. You know, the quicker that Trump turns Canada into the 51st state of America, the better for all Canadians and I think the rest of the world.
Well, that's what Trump's threatening to do, and I think that might be behind Trudeau's, you know, they should have elected a woman speech. Incoming President Donald Trump has invited Chinese President Xi Jinping to attend his inauguration next month. Caroline, I wanted to ask you, is this a good move by Trump?
I think this is a Trump move. I don't think there's any real right answer here. I think this is peak Trump flex. This is the sort of thing that he would do. Hi, mate, welcome. Enjoy the lobster before we hit you with tariffs. So I think that it is probably a bit unorthodox. I mean, I know that for various sorts of state occasions and inaugurations, various people and world leaders get invited to these things. But I think it is. I think it's just a nice reminder. For Trump, not only as far as Xi is concerned, but to other world leaders, that he's not going to take a backward step then when it comes to, you know, doing what's best for America.
Well, speaking of Trump, Time magazine is set to name him as Person of the Year. Now, this will be the second time that they have done this. Previously, they've awarded Person of the Year to everyone from dictators to people like Chancellor Angela Merkel, who was nominated in 2015. At that time, Trump weighed in saying, they picked a person who's ruining Germany. And when they nominated Kamala Harris as their Person of the Year, Trump said that he was better looking than her. Evelyn, it seems like the title of Times Person of the Year does mean something to Donald Trump.
Oh, I think Caroline said it perfectly before. It's a Trump thing, you know. He's a master troll, and isn't it just beautiful? I cannot wait for the 4 years just to see him troll all the people that, you know, wanted him basically in prison. You know, I actually don't think he takes it too seriously, and I think it's really hilarious watching him poke fun at the people who do take it seriously. You know, he's doing all right though, because this is actually he's been featured on the cover of Times magazine over 35 times. I mean, that's the fourth most of like any president in history. You know, I think it's safe to say he doesn't really care what the media think or what the establishment think, you know, and at this point in time, they're not really doing him any favors. He's doing them the favors, because here we are all the way over in the pond in Australia talking about Time magazine and talking about him. So I think he's probably the best thing to market their magazines, not the other way around.
It's a very good point. Trump doesn't need the mainstream media, they need him. But you mentioned trolls. Now, I've got to show both of you this hilarious clip of Jill Biden. The First Lady gave a speech overnight hoping to spread a little Christmas cheer and maybe take a little dig at the Vice President. Have a look at this and see if it reminds you of anyone.
Just for a moment when you leave here today that you feel, I don't know, a sense of joy. Because I think we all need like this, you know, we all need to feel joy now during this time of the season, during this time. So anyway, okay, now I'll start. You're all reading into that.
If only she'd used the phrase unburdened by what has been, it would have been perfect. We're almost out of time, Caroline, but that was a pretty good troll, don't you think?
It was a fabulous troll, almost as good a troll as her outfit on election day. Look, we don't know what happened behind those closed doors, but, you know, the internals of politics are often much saucier and much spicier than what we see on the outside. So I think that's a great way to flip the bird as you exit the building.
Absolutely. Evelyn Rae, Caroline DeRusso, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.